Welcome to Plot 27. This video is the storyline of the 2025 action movie titled Ice Road: Vengeance. Mike is a veteran ice road truck driver who is haunted by survivor's guilt after his younger brother Gertie died during the events of the ice road. To honor Gertie's final wish, Mike travels to Nepal to scatter his ashes at the summit of Mount Everest. In the village of Kodari, a local opposition figure named Ganesh Rai stands against the construction of a hydroelectric dam proposed by Rudra, a man working for a corrupt industrial company. Ganesh explains that his father is on the way but is running late, unaware that his father will never arrive, because Rudra's mercenaries pushed his bus off a cliff and reported it to the police as an accident. After learning the truth, Ganesh realizes that he and his son Vijay are the next targets. Upon arriving in Kathmandu, Mike hires a local Everest guide named Dhani. During the journey, Dhani reveals that she is a former soldier who has climbed Mount Everest 10 times. They later see a group of soldiers training, which reminds Mike of his brother, who was also a soldier. They board a bus driven by Spike, along with an American professor named Evan Myers and his daughter, Star. Evan apologizes after Star accidentally drops Dhani's bag, and the group begins their journey toward Everest. As an experienced truck driver, Mike becomes curious about the bus's engine. He discovers that Spike built his own high-compression diesel engine. To stay safe, Ganesh hides in a remote cabin in the Annapurna Highlands. He calls Vijay, who is at the market, urging him to return immediately. Unaware that two mercenaries, Jeet and Yug, are following him, Vijay ends up boarding the same bus as Mike. Jeet and Yug hijack the bus in order to kidnap Vijay. Jeet confiscates all the passengers' phones and throws them away, then orders Spike to divert the route toward Kodari. Spike has no choice but to comply, even though he has never driven that road before and it is known to be extremely dangerous. Dhani warns Mike that they are in serious danger, because Nepalese kidnappers never leave witnesses. When the bus stops for a herd of goats crossing the road, Dhani secretly grabs an axe, and Mike slashes the bus's rear tire. Mike and the others are forced to stop in the village of Kodari. Soon after, police officer Shankar arrives, arrests Jeet, and takes Vijay into custody. Dhani recognizes Evan as a well-known professor. Star notices how eerily quiet the village is, and Evan reveals that he already knows about the land dispute. He explains that Rudra wants to build the largest dam in the Himalayas, but the villagers refuse to sell their land because it is all they have. Although she was initially distant, Star admits that she is impressed by what Dhani did earlier. Evan goes to the police station to check on Vijay, only to discover that Shankar has been bribed by Rudra. Shankar tells the passengers to continue their journey because their bus has arrived, but Evan senses that something is wrong. Rudra imprisons Vijay and forces him to reveal his father's location. Meanwhile, Evan tells Mike that something is seriously off and recounts the so-called accident that killed Vijay's grandfather. Hearing this, Spike also doubts that the incident was truly an accident. Dhani reveals that Rudra is a powerful Kathmandu mafia boss. The five of them decide to stay in Kodari to investigate. Mike, Evan, and Dhani go to the police station to rescue Vijay and find Shankar torturing him. As Mike and Dhani move to save Vijay, Rudra arrives with his men. Evan claims that he represents the US State Department and demands that Rudra release Vijay, but Rudra suddenly kills him. Mike orders Dhani to save Vijay while he faces Rudra and his mercenaries. Mike manages to escape, and they tell Star that her father has been killed. As they attempt to leave the village, Spike is shot. Mike takes over the wheel and they narrowly escape. Mike is wounded while Spike is dying from his severe injuries. Vijay warns Mike that the road to Annapurna is extremely steep and icy. Spike asks them to leave him by the roadside, saying he does not want to die inside his own bus. Before leaving, Mike gives him a rifle. The The road ahead is known as the road to the sky, with a 40% incline covered in ice. They attach the bus's bumper to a crane owned by Chinese workers, and the bus slowly begins to descend. Midway through, the bus suddenly stops when the crane's engine fails. With no other option, they cut the cable. Using his skills, Mike drives the bus down the road to the sky. Mike and the others survive, but the bus is badly damaged. After seeing several wrecked vehicles, Mike says that they still have hope. Spike opens fire on Rudra's mercenary convoy but is eventually killed. Mike and the others manage to repair the bus, while Rudra's men fix the crane. Ganesh sends a message to Vijay's phone which Rudra is carrying, and reveals his location after Rudra pretends to be lost. Rudra orders one of his men to kill Ganesh, but Ganesh has already prepared a trap. Mike and the group arrive in Annapurna, and Vijay reunites with his father. However, Mike collapses due to his injuries. Dhani treats Mike and teaches Star basic combat skills. The next day, Mike recovers, and they prepare to leave the highlands. Rudra plans to stop them from crossing into China, since Shankar has no jurisdiction there. Mike and the others attempt to cross the China-Nepal border gorge using a crane. Ganesh urges Vijay to go first as Rudra and his men arrive. Ganesh is killed in the firefight and Dhani is also shot. Rudra and his mercenaries continue the pursuit. Vijay says that they are only 50 kilometers away from Chinese territory, and another firefight erupts. After defeating Jeet and Shankar, Mike crashes into Rudra's vehicle and pushes it into a ravine. Vijay announces to the villagers that they will now have electricity and access to the river. Mike continues his journey with Dhani and finally scatters Gertie's ashes at the summit of Mount Everest. At the airport, after parting ways with Dhani, Mike notices a rope in a shop display and recalls climbing with Gertie, who once said that life is meant to be enjoyed. Mike walks back outside the airport and sees Dhani, who has stopped her car, and the movie ends. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for the next movie storyline.